Welcome to our deep dive into the world of synthesis and collaboration.
Synthesis and collaboration.
Yeah, it's really about taking all that information
All that information,
that's
yeah.
constantly thrown at us
Right.
and kind of making it meaningful.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not just about summarizing.
Right.
It's about going deeper.
It's about creating a richer understanding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like...
It's like you're a detective piecing together clues
Ooh, I like that.
from multiple sources.
Yeah.
Except instead of solving a crime, you're solving.
The mystery of how the world works or even taking on a complex problem.
Absolutely.
And we've gathered some really interesting sources for this deep dive.
Yeah.
We have academic excerpts.
Interesting.
We have lessons about interdisciplinary studies.
Okay.
We even have a YouTube lecture and a research article on teamwork.
Oh, wow.
So our mission today is to help you become a master synthesizer.
Master synthesizers.
Someone who can weave together information from different disciplines, different perspectives,
From perspective.
to see the bigger picture.
And not just see it,
Yeah.
but to use that understanding to make better decisions.
Okay.
And even spark new ideas.
I like that.
Yeah.
So let's start with how this plays out in something I think you probably do all the time.
Okay.
Writing.
Writing, yeah.
One of our sources uses this really clever analogy.
Okay.
It's like the unconventional materials challenge.
So like on Project Runway?
Yes. On Project Runway.
Where they make a dress out of trash bags and bottle caps.
Exactly.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
So it's about taking these seemingly random pieces and making them into something coherent.
Yeah.
And even beautiful.
And even beautiful.
And when you think about it,
Yeah.
every time you write an email, a report, even a social media post, you are doing a form of synthesis.
Here you are.
You're choosing what information to include, how to organize it,
Absolutely.
and what conclusions to draw.
Yeah. And what's important here is
Yeah.
to be deliberate about it. You know, our source kind of breaks it down into a few key steps.
Okay, lay it on me.
Okay, so first, be clear about your purpose.
Purpose.
Are you informing? Are you arguing? Are you persuading?
Yeah,
That's going to guide your choices.
makes sense.
And then
Yeah.
think about your sources like ingredients.
Okay,
You want a variety of flavors and viewpoints or evidence
interesting.
that kind of build upon one another.
Yeah, no one wants a meal made with just salt.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so you've got your purpose, you've got your ingredients.
Right.
Now what?
Now, this is where your unique voice comes in.
Okay,
You're the chef.
I'm the chef.
You're the chef, yeah. So don't just list the ingredients.
Right.
You have to blend them together.
Okay,
Show the connections.
got it.
And make your own analysis.
Yeah.
And spice it up with your own insights.
Okay.
That's how you add real value for your reader.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, imagine taking these synthesis skills that we use in writing and applying them to a much bigger challenge.
So-
Understanding complex social issues
Like,
like poverty,
okay.
inequality, climate change.
Right.
This is where interdisciplinary approaches come in.
Interdisciplinary approaches.
Yeah, so instead of just looking at these problems through one lens,
Okay.
say economics or political science,
Yeah.
you bring together experts from all different fields.
So it's like a team of detectives,
Oh, I like that.
each with their own specialty,
Right.
working together to crack the case.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
One of our sources defines these interdisciplinary approaches
Okay.
as integrating insights from various social sciences to analyze social phenomena,
Okay.
to really understand something like poverty.
Okay.
You can't just look at income levels, right?
Right,
You have to
right.
consider the psychological impact,
Yeah.
the historical context,
Uh-huh.
the cultural factors.
It's multifaceted.
It's multifaceted. There's so many things.
Yeah.
And when you bring together these different perspectives,
Yeah.
you get a much richer
Richer.
and more accurate picture.
More accurate.
And importantly,
Yes.
it can lead to more effective solutions.
Effective solutions.
So, we're talking about the climate crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Instrumental interdisciplinarity might focus on developing new technology to reduce emissions.
Right.
But then critical interdisciplinarity
Yes.
might examine how our economic systems contribute to the problem
Oh,
in
interesting.
the first place.
So there are different types of interdisciplinary approaches.
There are, yeah. And our YouTube lecture really helped me kind of break that down.
Okay, break it down for me.
Okay, so they explain it like this. Instrumental interdisciplinarity is problem-driven.
Problem-driven.
It borrows tools from different disciplines to find practical solutions.
So like a toolbox.
Like a toolbox, yeah.
Oh,
You got
yeah.
your hammer, your wrench, your screwdriver.
I got it.
You choose the right tool depending on the job.
Okay.
Critical interdisciplinarity, on the other hand, is more about examining the underlying assumptions
Assumptions,
and biases that we bring to a problem.
Biases.
It asks,
Yeah.
how do we even know what we know?
It's getting philosophical.
It is getting a little philosophical.
Yeah.
Are there other ways of understanding this issue?
Yeah.
So the lecture compares this to basic research.
Basic research.
It's about building the foundation of knowledge
The foundation.
that informs these more applied problem-solving approaches.
Oh, solving. Got it.
And both types of interdisciplinarity
Yeah.
emphasize this term,
Give it to me.
epistemological pluralism.
Epistemological pluralism.
I know.
That's a mouthful.
I know, it's a mouthful.
What does that even mean?
It's actually a really simple idea.
Okay, I'm ready.
It just means recognizing that there are many valid ways of knowing and understanding the world.
Many valid ways.
Yeah, so it's like realizing there are many paths up a mountain.
Many paths up a mountain.
You can hike.
Yep.
You can climb.
Okay.
You can take a cable car.
Cable car.
They all get you to the top,
To the top.
just with different views.
Different views. I like that.
And different challenges along the way.
Different challenges.
So we've talked about synthesizing information in writing.
Okay.
We talked about applying that to these bigger issues through interdisciplinary approaches.
Yes.
But how does this all translate to real-world action? What's in it for me?
That's the question, right? What's in it for me?
Yeah.
That's where our article on interprofessional collaboration comes in.
Okay.
It highlights both the benefits and the challenges of putting these ideas into practice.
Putting these ideas into practice.
Yeah, and I think we've all experienced this in some way.
I think so too.
Whether it's working on a group project or organizing a community event,
Yeah.
or even just trying to make a decision with your family.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The article starts with this great quote from legendary football coach Vince Lombardi.
Vince Lombardi, all right.
He said, "Individual commitment to a group effort, that is what makes a team work, a company work, a society work, a civilization work."
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, it really emphasizes the power of collective action.
The power of collective action.
So what are some of the specific benefits of collaboration that jumped out at you?
Well, I think first and foremost, we could achieve so much more together
More together.
than we ever could alone.
Alone, yeah.
Like, think about a complex problem like developing a new vaccine.
Developing a new vaccine.
No one person has all the knowledge and skills needed for that, right?
Right.
You need immunologists, virologists, engineers, clinicians, ethicists.
So many people.
So many people.
Working together.
And then there's this idea of pooled resources.
Pooled resources.
Collaboration allows us to share knowledge, skills, tools, and funding,
Funding.
which can increase our impact dramatically.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about during the pandemic, when scientists from all over the world shared their research.
Openly.
Openly and rapidly. It
Rapid.
accelerated the development of the vaccine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the potential for innovation.
Innovation.
Yeah. When people from different backgrounds and disciplines come together.
They bring fresh perspectives.
You do, yeah.
And they challenge each other's assumptions.
Challenge those assumptions.
And that can lead to these creative breakthroughs.
Breakthroughs.
That wouldn't have been possible otherwise.
Right. Yeah.
But the article also acknowledges that collaboration isn't always easy.
It's not always easy.
Right.
Right.
What were some of the challenges that it highlighted?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is navigating those different professional cultures.
Different cultures, yeah.
And communication styles.
Different communication styles.
Think about a team of doctors, nurses, and social workers,
Okay.
all trying to coordinate care for a patient.
Yeah.
They all have different training, different priorities, and even different ways of talking to each other.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then the article also talks about the difficulties of overcoming silos.
Silos.
People can get so stuck in their own departments or areas of expertise that they kind of forget to reach out to others who might have valuable insights.
Yeah, it's like too many cooks spoil the broth.
Right, or a camel is a horse designed by committee.
Exactly.
Right.
But the article argues that these challenges, while real, are not insurmountable.
Not insurmountable.
It emphasizes the importance of building trust, establishing clear communication channels, and fostering that shared sense of purpose.
Shared sense of purpose, yeah.
It even gives a real-world example
of
how smaller medical practices are struggling to manage chronic diseases.
Chronic diseases, okay.
Because they lack the resources
Resource.
and the expertise to do it alone.
Expertise.
They need to collaborate with specialists and other healthcare providers to give their patients the best possible care.
Give the best care.
And ultimately, the article argues that the potential rewards of collaboration, better solutions,
greater innovation,
and a deeper understanding of our world outweigh the challenges. Okay, so we've talked about the what and the how of synthesis and collaboration.
Right.
But the real question is,
so what? So what?
Why should all of this matter?
Right.
To you, the listener.
Me, the listener, yeah.
I think the answer is pretty simple.
Lay it on me.
In a world that's becoming increasingly complex and interconnected, synthesis and collaboration aren't just nice to haves.
Right.
They're essential survival skills.
Essential survival skills.
Now think about the challenges that we're facing. Climate change. Social inequality.
Yep.
Political polarization. Rapid technological advancements.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, right?
Yeah.
These are issues that no single discipline, profession, or even individual can solve on their own.
Right.
We need to be able to bring together diverse perspective, synthesize vast amounts of information, and collaborate effectively. If we want to make any real progress. So, as you go about your day, think about how you might apply these principles in your own life.
Okay.
Because we all have a role to play. In creating a more informed and ultimately more effective society. It starts with each of us. Recognizing the power of synthesis and collaboration. And then actively seeking out opportunities to put these principles into practice. And it doesn't have to be some grand world-changing initiative. It can be as simple as reaching out to someone with a different viewpoint than your own. Actively listening to their perspective. And working together to find common ground. Or maybe it's taking on a challenging project at work. And approaching it with a collaborative mindset. Instead of trying to do everything yourself. Reach out to colleagues from different departments. Brainstorm ideas together. And leverage each other's strengths. Exactly. And that collaborative effort. Might just lead to a breakthrough innovation or a more effective solution. That benefits the entire organization.
Benefits everyone.
And, this idea of collective problem solving. It's gaining traction. In many fields. We're seeing a growing movement towards interdisciplinary research and interprofessional collaboration. In healthcare, in education, in business, and even government. People are realizing that the old siloed way of doing things just isn't cutting it anymore. We need to break down those barriers. Bridge those gaps. And work together. If we want to create a better future for ourselves and generations to come.
A better future.
So what does all this mean for you?
For me.
Here's a final thought to chew on.
Give it to me.
The next time you're faced with a mountain of information. Or a knotty problem. Remember the power. Of synthesis and collaboration. Don't be afraid to reach out. Combine perspective.
Combine them.
And create something truly insightful. And that, my friends, is your cue to go forth and synthesize. We'll catch you in the next part.
See you then.
It's interesting. We often talk about synthesis and collaboration like in a professional context.
Yeah.
But what about in our personal lives?
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah.
Are you saying we should treat our loved ones like interdisciplinary research projects?
Maybe not quite like that.
Okay.
But there are definitely some parallels.
Okay.
Think about it. Successful relationships often involve a form of synthesis, right?
Yeah.
We each bring our own experiences, values, and perspectives to the table.
Yeah. And hopefully through communication and understanding, we create something new and even stronger together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it all starts with recognizing that our loved ones have their own unique ways of seeing the world.
Right.
Their own epistemological pluralism, if you will.
Okay, maybe no more big words for now.
Okay, no more big words.
But I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It's about actively listening to understand where they're coming from.
Actively listening.
Not just to respond.
Not just to respond.
Right.
And then the collaboration comes in when we work together to navigate challenges, make decisions, and support each other's growth.
So instead of approaching disagreements as battles to be won, we can view them as opportunities for collaborative problem solving.
Exactly.
Instead of my way or the highway, it's let's find a path we can both walk together.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
This applies to so many aspects of personal life.
So many.
From parenting to household chores to planning vacations.
It's like turning those dreaded family meetings into interdisciplinary brainstorming sessions.
All right, well, maybe let's not get too carried away.
Maybe not.
But I think you see how these principles can be applied.
You see how?
In a variety of contexts.
Absolutely.
You know what else I find fascinating?
What's that?
The role of technology in all of this.
Technology?
On the one hand, it can feel like technology is a major barrier. To effective communication. I spend so much time staring at screens.
So much time.
It's easy to forget about real human connection.
Yeah, I feel that too sometimes.
Right.
But on the other hand, technology also has the potential to facilitate incredible collaboration and knowledge sharing.
Think about this podcast. We wouldn't be having this conversation without the amazing tools that allow us to connect.
To connect
with you.
Connect with you.
And share these ideas.
Right. And it's not just podcasts.
No.
There are so many online platforms and tools that allow people to collaborate on projects, learn from each other, and build communities.
Like open source software development.
Open source.
Online education platforms.
Online education.
Even virtual reality experiences.
Virtual reality.
That allow for collaborative learning.
It's amazing.
The possibilities are truly mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing.
So it makes me wonder, how will technology continue to shape the way we synthesize information and collaborate in the future?
Ooh, that is the million-dollar question.
Right.
Will we see even more sophisticated AI tools that help us make sense of vast amounts of data?
Right.
Will virtual and augmented reality become so immersive that we can have truly collaborative experiences that transcend physical limitations?
It's exciting to think about.
It is exciting.
And it makes me hopeful that technology can actually help us overcome some of the challenges.
Some of the challenges,
we've been discussing, like breaking down silos.
Breaking down silos.
And fostering more inclusive and equitable collaboration.
Inclusive and equitable,
Like imagine a world where language barriers are a thing of the past.
Oh.
Or where people with disabilities can fully participate. Collaborative endeavors.
It's a beautiful vision.
It's a beautiful vision.
But even with all of these advancements, there's something we can't forget.
What's that?
The human element.
Human element.
Technology can be an incredible tool. But it's only as good as the people using it at the end of the day. It's our responsibility to cultivate the skills, the mindset, and the values that make for effective synthesis and collaboration.
So it's not enough to just have the latest gadgets and platforms.
Right.
We also need empathy. Active listening skills.
Active listening.
Critical thinking.
And
a willingness to step outside of our comfort zones. And engage with diverse perspectives.
Engage with those diverse perspectives.
And this leads us to another crucial point, I think.
Yeah, tell me more.
That often gets overlooked.
What is it?
The importance of trust.
Trust.
Think about it.
Okay.
True collaboration can only flourish in an environment where people feel safe to share their ideas, challenge assumptions, and even make mistakes. You know, it's like that saying,
what's that?
There are no stupid questions.
No stupid questions.
But it goes beyond just asking questions.
And the questions.
It's about feeling safe to voice your opinion. Even if it's different from the group consensus.
Yeah, because if we're constantly worried about being judged or ridiculed, we're less likely to speak up, contribute our unique perspectives, and fully engage in that collaborative process.
And that's a loss for everyone.
A loss for everyone.
So how do we foster trust in collaborative settings?
That's the question.
Whether it's at work, in our communities, or even in our families.
How do we foster that trust?
I think it starts with creating a culture.
A culture?
Of respect and psychological safety. People need to feel heard. Valued. And supported, even when they disagree.
Even when they disagree.
It's about actively listening.
Actively listening.
Seeking to understand. Rather than to judge.
Rather than judge.
And acknowledging the contributions of every team member.
Every team member.
And it's about being willing to be vulnerable ourselves.
Vulnerable.
To admit when we don't know something.
Right.
And to be open to feedback.
Feedback.
In different perspectives.
Different perspectives.
This reminds me of a quote from Brené Brown.
Brené Brown.
Who's a researcher who studies vulnerability and courage.
Vulnerability and courage.
And she said, vulnerability is not weakness. It's our greatest measure of courage.
Vulnerability is not weakness.
I know, it's so powerful.
That's a good one.
It really speaks to the heart of what we're talking about.
What we're talking about.
Right. Embracing vulnerability.
Embracing vulnerability.
Both individually and collectively.
Individually and collectively.
Is essential for building trust.
Trust.
Fostering genuine connection.
Genuine connection.
And ultimately creating a more collaborative and innovative society.
A more collaborative society.
And, it's not just about professional or intellectual collaboration.
No.
This idea of vulnerability and trust.
Vulnerability and trust.
It's fundamental to our personal relationships as well.
To our personal relationships.
Think about how much stronger our friendships and romantic partnerships become.
Stronger.
When we're willing to let our guard down.
Let our guard down.
Share our fears and insecurities.
And
truly be seen.
To be seen.
For who we are.
For who we are.
True intimacy and connection.
True intimacy.
It only exists. Where there is trust and a willingness to be vulnerable with each other.
To be vulnerable.
It's about being brave enough to show our true selves.
Our true selves.
Imperfections and all.
Imperfections and all.
And that brings us back to this idea of synthesis.
Synthesis.
Not just of information.
Not just information.
But of our hearts and minds.
Hearts and minds.
When we approach our relationships with that same spirit.
That same spirit.
Of curiosity, openness. And a willingness to learn and grow together.
Grow together.
We create something truly beautiful and transformative.
Beautiful and transformative.
I love that.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Okay.
I want to leave you with a challenge.
A challenge. I love challenges.
Okay, think about one relationship in your life.
One relationship.
Could be a friend, family member, colleague.
Good.
Or a romantic partner.
Okay.
Where you feel like there's room for deeper connection and collaboration.
Okay, I've got someone in mind.
I challenge you to approach that relationship with the principles we've been discussing today.
The principles. Okay.
Active listening.
Active listening.
Empathy.
Empathy.
A willingness to be vulnerable.
Willingness to be vulnerable.
And a commitment to working together.
Working together.
To create something even stronger.
Something stronger.
Because who knows?
Who knows?
That one small act of intentional connection.
Intentional connection.
Could have a ripple effect.
A ripple effect.
Creating more trust.
More trust.
Understanding.
Oh.
And collaboration in your life and in the world around you.
In the world around you.
And on that inspiring
note,
we'll leave you to ponder that challenge.
To ponder.
We'll be back with the final part of our deep dive soon. As we continue our deep dive into synthesis and collaboration, I've been thinking about how these concepts connect to creativity.
Oh, creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because at first glance, creativity and collaboration might seem like opposites.
Okay.
We often picture the lone creative genius.
The lone genius, right?
Working in isolation.
In isolation.
Struck by sudden inspiration.
That's the classic image.
The classic image, right?
Yeah, like the artist in the studio or the writer wrestling with their manuscripts.
Yeah, but when you look closer, you see that collaboration can be a powerful engine.
A powerful engine for creativity.
I like that.
Think about brainstorming sessions.
Brainstorming, yeah.
Bouncing ideas off of each other.
Yeah.
Building on each other's suggestions.
Yeah.
Challenging assumptions.
Yeah, that's often where the sparks fly.
That's where the sparks fly, like that.
Yeah.
And it's not just about generating ideas.
Right.
Collaboration also helps us to refine and develop those ideas.
Refine and develop.
Right, to shape them into something truly innovative and impactful.
Absolutely.
Think about some of the most creative companies and organizations out there.
Like?
Pixar.
Pixar, yeah.
Or Google.
Google.
They're known for their collaborative cultures, right?
Yeah.
Bringing together these diverse teams with different skills and backgrounds.
Different skills and backgrounds.
And that cross-pollination of ideas.
Cross-pollination.
That blending of perspectives.
Yeah.
That's what often leads to those aha moments. Right, those breakthroughs. That wouldn't have been possible if they were all working alone.
That wouldn't have been possible, yeah.
And it's not just limited to the corporate world either.
No.
Think about music collaborations.
Music collaborations,
Theatrical productions.
Theatrical?
Scientific discoveries that happen when researchers from all different fields join forces.
Oh, yeah.
The magic often happens.
Magic often happens.
When those seemingly separate worlds collide. So this brings up a question for me.
Okay, what's your question?
How can we create environments in our personal and professional lives that truly foster this kind of creative collaboration?
Creative collaboration, yeah.
What are those ingredients that make those sparks fly?
That's the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it starts with a shift in mindset.
A shift in mindset.
We need to move away from that competitive mentality of my idea versus your idea. And embrace a more collective approach.
So instead of saying it's my idea or your idea,
right,
the goal is to build on each other's ideas.
Build on them.
Right. Not to tear them down.
Not to tear them down.
To create something greater than the sum of its parts.
Greater than the sum of its parts.
I love that.
Yeah, and that requires a few key ingredients.
Okay, give me the ingredients.
So first and foremost, psychological safety.
Psychological safety, okay.
People need to feel comfortable sharing their ideas.
Share?
Even the wild ones.
The wild ones.
Without fear of judgment.
Without fear of judgment.
Because sometimes those crazy ideas, right? The ones that make us laugh or raise an eyebrow, those are the ones that lead to the most innovative breakthroughs.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's about creating a space where it's okay to experiment. To take risks. And even to fail.
I like that.
And hand in hand with that goes trust.
Trust.
We need to trust that our collaborators have good intentions. That they're genuinely invested in the shared goal. And that we can rely on each other to do our best work.
This reminds me of that improv principle.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and.
Yes, and.
You accept what your partner offers, and then you build on it. Instead of shutting them down. Or trying to control the direction.
Yeah.
It's about letting go of the need to be right.
And
embracing the possibility.
of
discovering something new together.
Discovering together. Such a powerful principle.
It is powerful.
And it applies not just to improv.
No.
It applies to brainstorming sessions. Problem solving. Even navigating disagreements in our personal lives.
I like that.
When we approach those situations with a yes and attitude.
Yes and.
We open ourselves up to possibilities. We might never have imagined on our own.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of synthesis and collaboration. I'm left with a sense of hope and possibility. You know, it's clear that these skills aren't just for academics or professionals.
Right.
They're essential for anyone who wants to navigate a complex world. Solve challenging problems. And create something meaningful. I like that.
The world is facing increasingly complex challenges. Challenges that require us to really tap into our collective creativity and wisdom.
And that means embracing synthesis. Bringing together those diverse perspectives. And weaving them into a richer, more nuanced understanding of the issues that we face.
And
it means mastering the art of collaboration. Working together across disciplines, backgrounds,
even continents.
To co-create solutions.
That
are both innovative and impactful. You know, our ability to synthesize information and collaborate effectively. Will determine our success in navigating the challenges of the 21st century and beyond.
So go forth and synthesize.
Collaborate. And create. The future depends on it.
And that brings our deep dive to a close. We hope you enjoyed this exploration of synthesis and collaboration. And that you'll take these ideas out into the world and make them your own. Until next time. Keep those creative juices flowing.
And
May those collaborative spirits high.